Tonight, as promised, we're going to get to some of the viewer calls we weren't able to get to yesterday. A ton of you called in and wrote in answer to the simple question, what else do you expect Israel to do in response to the Hamas terror attack? With Hamas using civilians as human shields, still firing rockets from civilian areas, is Israel just supposed to let it go, let them keep doing it? As Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin testified before the Senate Appropriation Committee, they were interrupted by screaming, fake blood-drenched protesters supporting Palestinians and a call for a ceasefire. But of course, a ceasefire would be a huge win for Hamas. And of course, Israel says it's not happening under any circumstance. I just still don't quite understand what people expect from Israel other than trying to be as careful as they can about civilians. So now let's go to some of the many, many calls that we weren't able to get to yesterday. Let's go to Pax from Georgia. Pax, how you doing? What do you got?
Hey, Dan, if you'll just stick with me here for a second, I got a few points to make before you jump on me, okay? Of course, I blame Hamas for 10/7, but I also blame Netanyahu's government. Knowing Mossad's amazing historic reputation, I can only assume that Netanyahu has screwed up Mossad or didn't pay attention.
Okay.
Second, Israel knows they always lose the world opinion battle when they start bombing buildings. We've seen this movie before.
Yep.
If the war is with Hamas, then go after them, not the civilians. Shutting off food, water, electricity for an entire population is wrong. It's akin to us shutting off water, food, and fuel to Los Angeles, then bombing certain buildings in order to root out gangs.
No, but here's where it's not. Okay, here's where the comparison doesn't quite work, right? You say go after Hamas. That's what they're doing. Hamas is firing from civilian areas. They are using civilian areas as military operations. So when you say, well, just go after Hamas, that's exactly what Israel is doing. And you say in the United States, it's comparable to what we did in Afghanistan. That's it. Response?
Let me finish, okay? Israel is a nation state with all the high-tech war material that goes with it. Hamas is a bunch of thugs with small arms.
Therefore what?
So Israel's got 300,000 troops, tanks, and armored vehicles sitting on the border, ready to go in. The IDF is highly trained and armed. They've got camera drones to pinpoint fighters from the air. They've got tunnel and building robots that seek out people hiding in buildings and tunnels. They've got
and they're using all of it. They're using all of it, Pax. And no offense, but no matter how much military experience you have or don't have, you don't have as much military experience in dealing with Hamas as Israel does. And they are in an impossible situation. Again, I accept the idea that if there are errant bombs, if there are civilian areas where there's no justification, criticize Israel. But for now, the areas they've been going after, as far as we know, are areas where Hamas has been centered. Israel gains nothing from civilian deaths. But Pax, thank you. Appreciate it. Let's go to Patricia from Virginia. Patricia, what do you got?
Well, I think one thing people have to remember is Hamas is different than any other problems we might have in our country in terms of people going after one another. It is in their charter to destroy Israel.
That's true.
What happened on October 7th almost seems, it's yesterday, so to speak. So we now have all these voices weighing in on what ought to be done. Yep. But the truth is, Israel, now has the opportunity to go in and use their expertise in this very difficult, old-fashioned ground war to get after these terrorists.
Yep.
Because they cannot exist without getting rid of Hamas once and for all.
Yep, I agree with you. I don't know that they're going to be able to achieve that, but they certainly have to try. Patricia, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.